WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American over here in Germany, often reviewing rare and exotic whiskeys. Today I have something from Gordon MacPhail. Yes, they said they're not going to buy any more casks, but I expect to be buying bottles from them from their Connoisseurs collection for the next 25 years. Connoisseurs collection since 1968. They've been bottling single malt, non-chilled, cask strength, no color added expressions from over 100 different Scottish distilleries. Thank you, Mr. Orquat, for that. And I have today Tamnavulin. Cask strength from 2007, bottled on the 19th of March 2024. This is a 16-year-old Tamnavulin. It spent its entire life in a refill bourbon barrel, number 700367. So we have a total of 165 bottles. We have 57.4% ABV. And I paid 138 euros for this. Whiskybase 256724. Now, a tiny little bit of information about Tamnavulin before I pull out the whiskey I want to compare it to. All right, so Tamnavulin basically has a fairly easy and yet still complex timeline. 1966, we have the Invergordon distillers build Tamnavulin. They actually called it Tamnavulin minus Glenlivet Distillery because everything in Speyside was called Glenlivet back then. And they built it in Ballindalach. Tamnavulin today does not have a visitor center. It used to, but it doesn't today. It was basically the problem of, in the 60s, whiskey was booming. And they were actually bottling more than they were producing. And so they built distilleries. In 1993, White & Mackay and purchases Invergordon distillers. So they finally got a grain distillery with Invergordon. They got Tamnavulin, they got Jura, they got Dalmore. They actually even had back then, was it Tomental or was it Glencadam? And they sold that off to Agnes Dundee. Don't worry. 1995, 2 years later, they closed down the distillery. So the distillery is closed until 2000 when we have a very short run. I actually had a bottle of the vintage 2000 from Tamnavulin way back when. I didn't know that it was special. I was not really amused with the bottle. It wasn't the greatest bottle ever, but they only were open for a very few weeks and they produced only a little bit. And I had one of the bottles back then. That was bottled 2018, 2019. All right, and then 2007, White & Mackay is actually bought by an Indian group called United Spirits. Even today, big global player in the spirits world. And they reopened Tamnavulin. So between 1995 and 2007, nothing at Tamnavulin. 12 years, except for a couple weeks in 2000 that they produced. 2014, the United Spirits sells off White & Mackay. Diageo had become a majority stakeholder by then. There was worries about them having too much control over the Scotch whisky industry. And so they sold off White & Mackay with the distillery Tamnavulin, Jura, Dalmore, and Fetacan to the Philippine-based group Emperado. And that's where it is today. So for the last 10 years, this distillery has been in the hand of Emperado. Now, what I think is excellent is that Gordon MacPhail, in the year that they reopened in 2007, said, hey, we have some cask. Fill it up with new make. We'll just buy it from you. And United Spirits basically said, yeah, come on over. We'll do that. Great. And we get to taste a 16-year-old Tamnavulin today in cask strength from a refill bourbon barrel. What else does the geek heart want? This is what we love. And if we take a look at our 10-year per $10, 10 euro per year for single cask, cask strength, single malt, we're actually under. So what am I going to compare it to? I'm going to compare it to this. You can't even see the label. I'll pull this out right now. This is Glenburgie. This is 26-year-old. single malt whiskey from 1996, 55.9. This is a refill bourbon barrel. Yeah. So we have here, let's just put this in here so it looks beautiful. So this is Whiskybase number 238055. So we have 140 bottles of this. We have 165 of this. We have 57.4 after 16 years. We have 55.9 after 16 years. This 283 euros. So we're almost a little bit over the 10 years per 10 euros per year for this, and here we're a little bit under. So we're paying almost double for this, for 26 compared to 16 years of age. Am I being a little bit decadent? Yes, I am. So, but hey, I have the bottles here. I bought them. I did a bottle share. Not many people participated in this. This is all gone. This was very interesting. This hit the market on July 1st, and July 8th, at least in Germany, hit the market on July 1st. I bought the bottle. I did a bottle share, and I put it in my groups. I have a couple hundred people in my groups, and I said, hey, boom, two people wanted 5 CLs each. This is a 138 euro bottle. I was like, well, I'm not going to open up for that. And then I wrote down just, hey, this is something special. The distillery was closed until 2007. This is from 2007. When are you ever going to be able to try a independently bottled refilled bourbon from Tamnavulin? Not the cheap stuff you can get at the supermarket with sherry or wine. No, this is good connoisseur's choice from Gordon MacPhail. And the bottle basically within 3 hours it was gone. I was like, oh, that's exactly the way it should be. That's why I bought the bottle. Now I can understand that people say, hey, 238 euros for 26-year-old whiskey, a little bit expensive, a little bit steep for me, but it's good stuff. It's not often we can buy things like that anymore, any place. And therefore, thank you, Gordon MacPhail. Thank you, Connoisseur's Choice, for even putting things like this on the market. Good. Tiny little bit more information about the distillery. They have a fairly large pot still, 17,500 liters for the wash, 15,000 for the spirit stills. They have 6 in total, so 3 pairs of each. They do at least 48 hours of fermentation. They have warehouses on site as well as outside. And they cut their the 4 shots. So the heads, 75%. After that, they go down to 60%. And that's where the tails start. So they have a fairly wide heart. And they say it's light grassy due to that. And I picked these 2 bottles because I looked at the description. It says here, candied pineapple. It says coconut, jasmine, guava, apricots, Brazil nuts, aniseed, and herbal influences. So over here we don't have the pineapple. Instead we have the tropical fruits. We have milk chocolate. We have citrus zest. We have marzipan. We have guava. We have tangerine, and we have mixed nuts. So they were both Bayside. They're very similar, but yet a little bit different. Let's try this one first. I have no idea if you'll ever find this bottle outside of continental Europe or outside of Europe. It'll be in the UK, it will be in Germany, and outside of that, I don't know. I like this nose a lot. I do get a floral jasmine moment. I get a little bit of a tropical fruit, guave, as they said. This is very, very nice. This the Glenbergie should be fruitier. This should be light grassier. I get more of a cinnamon moment, and I get more of, I personally feel, even though this is 26 and this is 16 years of age, I think this was a newer cask. So we have a virgin oak cask bourbon. Don't forget about that. We talk about the first fill. We talk about second fill and third fill. I think this is a second fill. I think this is a third fill. Or fourth fill, for that matter. Now, there's oak spice going on here. There's a little bit more vanilla cinnamon goodness going on over here. Cheers. Mm. Mm. So, oh yeah. B minus B. This is fabulous. Now, some of us out there have been members or have been able to become members of the Scotch Malt Whiskey Society, SMWS. They do excellent bottlings. Sometimes they're excellent, sometimes they're good, sometimes they're okay. Many times they have excellent bottles. Unfortunately, at the moment, there are not as many as I would prefer. I'm actually a member. I haven't bought anything for half a year there. Of bourbon matured product, ex-bourbon hogsheads, ex-bourbon barrels. Very, very seldom at the moment do I get a 14, 16-year-old ex-bourbon matured anything from them. They have a lot of finishes going on. They have a lot of younger stuff that's between 8 and 14 years of age, which is just fine because the price has to be right and so on. But trying to find a wonderful 16, an excellent 26-year-old bourbon barrel matured whiskey, it's not easy. You have to go independently bottled, and for me, WhiskyJason here, Signature Vintage does way too much sherry. Gord MacPhail with a Connoisseur's Choice has some exactly what I want, but they're hard to get. They're single casks. Hey, welcome to the world. You have 140 bottles to buy. Are you going to be one of the lucky few? 165 bottles of this. Are you going to be one of the lucky few? That's the problem with single barrels, is there's not many to go around. And yet, the people in the know, the master nerds, the whiskey connoisseurs, will hunt these. We're hunting flavor, as Roy wants to say, and this has it. It has a tiny little bit at the end, too much of an oak spice to be perfect. But this is very, very nice. Put a little bit of water in it, bring it down from its 57.4 down to 52-ish. Fruit cocktail. You remember those little fruit cocktails you used to get from the can or the little plastic things at school or whatever? There was a little bit of pineapple in there. There was a lot of sugar, corn syrup. There was pears. I have pears here with a little bit of caramel sauce. I have apples. And do you remember that little red cherry that didn't taste like a cherry but tasted like everything else? That's what I'm getting here as well. This is the vanilla, the oak spice, very, very nice. Solid B, B minus, depends on my day, depends on my mood. Yes, value for money. 138 euros is a lot of money for a bottle of whiskey. All right, don't forget it's just schnapps, as we say in Germany. It's just schnapps. And we can buy schnapps for 10 euros, we can buy schnapps for 200 euros, we can buy schnapps for 138 euros. It's just schnapps. But it's a C minus. If you have the funds available, if you want to try something unique I don't think there's anyone out there that has, at least I've never seen, I can look for a second, a 2007 refill bourbon barrel cask strength product. Wow. Well, I'll be darned. So, Tamnavulin, Connoisseur's Choice, cask strength, has been in the Gord MacPhail portfolio now since 2001. There's a bottling 14 years of age from 2021. There's a bottling from 2022, 14 years of age. There's a bottling for 2023, 16 years of age. And there's a bottling from 2024, also 16 years of age. Why don't they go 14, 15, 16, 17? I never know. Depends on the month they had and how they bottled it. But hey, this was actually, and this is interesting here, they had cask number 352, 354, 360, and 367. And they're all from 2007. Very, very, very interesting. All right, so there is 3 other bottlings out there, and they were all done by Gordon MacPhail, and they're all Tamnavulin. Nothing else out there from 2007 at all from Tamnavulin at the moment. Fabulous, 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 according to Whiskybase, all right? All right, just very briefly, the Glenborgie 26-year-old from 1996. More cinnamon, more wood action, more oak. This had the oak spice at the end, but the flavors were just perfect. That is a little bit fruitier. What would I buy if I had to buy one of these bottles again? I think I would go to the Tamnavulin because of the value for money. 138 versus 168. Ouch. I was 168. It was 268, 283, I think, actually. So it says here online 279, Swiss francs 290, whiskey exclusive is 309. So this is very, very, very way up there in price. But hey, that has more of the wonderful fruitiness of a excellent single malt out there. First question of the day. What is your favorite Tamnavulin product? What is your favorite Gordon MacPhail product? Ooh, often the Linkwood 15. And what is your favorite Connoisseur's Choice? I've had quite a few, so I don't know. But I do know I like the Connoisseur Choices a lot. If you can try before you buy, go for a Connoisseur Choice from Gordon MacPhail. You won't be disappointed, at least in my opinion. Thank you very much for watching, liking, subscribing, telling others about this crazy guy over in Germany, often reviewing things you will never ever see. Bye-bye.